right, is this thing on? Let's go, baby. Check the sound. 1 2 1 2, and I'm clear. We're live. We're live. We're watching the Notre Dame and Penn State game like a degenerate with some money on it. Sweating in my palms. Oh my god, like a family member just went into the game. Make sure you hit like, share, subscribe. We're gonna get into a few things here tonight. I'm gonna play around with the format that I'm doing here just because we're gonna do a little bit of a live stream, I guess, with the game because I can't take my eyes off of it. I'm sorry, degenerate money's on the line, but I wanted to hop on here with you guys. And then also I definitely have some videos to chop it up and look into. There's obviously things going on in the world. You have Los Angeles is on fire right now. We're trying to take over Canada before Trump's even gotten in office, where he's even technically stepped into office. The man's trying to acquire Canada. Is it a good move? Yes or no? Can we talk about it? Like, can we honestly talk about it? Canadians, hop in the chat. Canada. I want to do my own poll, you know what I mean, of Canadians specifically selected by me and see how y'all feel about it, because it could be a better together situation. Notre Dame and Penn State, you already know I've got money on Notre Dame in many different ways. So let's just claim this W here. Keep it moving, keep it trucking. The run game has been looking better in the second half. That touchdown from Jeremiah Love, that was beautiful there. I can't get into specifics how I saw the game. Let's just say I was watching the game and I was, it wasn't exactly the most reliable of connections that I was working with. And yeah, man had a touchdown. Looked like it was right out of Friday Night Lights. It's beautiful. And we respected that. And yeah, we'll see how Penn State ended up immediately scoring back. So by the time I looked back down at the game, they had already scored their touchdown and fucking had to be like 3 minutes. So we'll see how that pans out. But there's many legs. There's many legs that are relying on Notre Dame tonight. Many parlay legs. If you're out there, and you're with me and you feel my pain, let me know. If you're watching this afterwards, drop the money bags in the chat or the crying emojis in the chat, because you're in the future and but if you're in there right now with me and your palms are sweaty, knees weak, mom spaghetti on your sweater already, then you're with me. And yeah, we'll see how it plays out. I saw O'Reilly Leonard went down. In my opinion, I obviously don't wish injury on anybody, any of these kids out there at this point. So definitely not that. But I will say at the beginning of the season and throughout the season, the backup, whenever he steps in, and Jelly, he gets busy every time and is reliable. Riley Leonard, it's a little bit when he throws the ball, you're holding your breath. But I will say, the run threat that he adds is huge. And for example, their last game was a huge reason as to why they won that. But not to say that you couldn't win through other means, through the guy that you got on the bench. And also that's a little bit of a death now whenever in one of these games you have these teams anticipate and prepare for a quarterback. Damn, Penn State got the ball back again. God damn it. Okay, we might have to shut this one down. It's getting a little nerve-wracking. Yeah, if you're watching with me, Penn State, 10 minutes. They got the ball. They're slapping hands on the sideline. Like they're very happy about some shit that happened. Penn State Notre Dame doesn't look as happy. So it might have been my mistake. That's the thing. Look, guys, let this be a tale of caution. And this is where I've won a good amount doing the betting. And the thing is, bet smart. I got a little cocky with Notre Dame for some reason. Last week, it did me good. I bet very confident on Notre Dame. It did me well. I did that again. Now we're sitting here hoping that it pans out rather than just already knowing that we have something coming to us. I kind of played myself a little bit. So let it be a cautionary tale. or let it be a cautionary tale where you should have tailed your boy and you might have left some fucking money on the table. So either way though, like I said, I still right up the middle. You're letting Drew Aller get big on you guys. What the fuck is going on? No, first down for Penn State. Disgusting. Guys, fires in LA. Anybody got any feelings over there? The let me pull this up. Just while we're sitting here vibing in between fucking ad breaks, first down. Like you get a first down, you get to watch that same play 3 times, and then we're gonna cut to a Reese's commercial. Capital One Bowl. It's a beautiful. I mean, honestly, but this is a beautiful. Oh hell yeah, throwing that interception. Fuck no. Oh, let's go. Interception, Notre Dame. Oh my god, a flag. There's no way. Get out of here with the flag. They threw a flag in the last interception in the back of it was another interception in the end zone. I don't know. He's smiling like it's not a flag, but maybe it's a smile like, oh, you motherfuckers, you fucked us again. Come on. Oh, it's on the defense. That's deadly. They needed that interception. That turnover would have been everything. Pass interference. Oh my god. So I don't bet on these fucking losers. Look at this. Not even playing the ball. Yeah, what the fuck is that, bro? God. 24 made the play, and number 8 was just running through like a dumbass with his hands up. That's not how you do that. Hey, what's going on, Birdman? I'm gonna sit here watching the Notre Dame game, to be honest with you. We're chilling. I got a few things I'm gonna watch a little bit later on. I got that I don't know how familiar you are with Sam Hyde. Maybe you can give me a little bit of a rundown if you know anything. I got some video that somebody sent to me where he's addressing Elon. I wanted to go in, relatively blind to that, but yeah, I'm watching some video where Sam Hyde's addressing Elon, and then a good old Pierce Morgan episode. We're talking about Trump. But right now, I'm watching Notre Dame versus Penn State. I got money on Notre Dame. I thought God was going to be with us this day, but right now, I don't know. For some reason, Penn State, is getting the favors. Has anybody or any Penn State, the way they've bounced back from a fucking scandal, and the level of the scandal is absolutely insane. Go Penn, hey man, that's fine. If you can say go Penn with a clear heart, then that's fine. But just know you're rooting for Sandusky's boys, and that's just what it is, bro. But nobody's ever bounced back from a scandal better than that. Than maybe Mike Tyson, who went to prison for rape. I'm pretty sure. So allegedly, you know what I mean. But he bounced back. He bounced back super hard. But then, like almost like a sign of a full image rehabilitation at the time was like, oh man, Mike Tyson was on Ellen. But now you find out she's a disgusting fucking witch. Surprise, you know what I mean? But not really. If you know, you know. But yeah, no, fucking Penn State. Bro, trying to watch this on the phone has been deadly right now. Might as well not even watch. I might as well just check in at the end and figure out if I need to cash out, hop off the stream, go cash out and live my life to the fullest, Go pick up do I need to go pick up the Lamborghini? Yes or no? Or, definitely do you need to go back to work and fucking be realistic. Stop being an asshole. Wasting your money on this shit. Probably that one. Either way you slice it. Because we ain't winning that much money. We're not hitting Rick Ross never broke again money, rich forever money. Buy Evander Holyfield's house. I think that's whose house he bought. not get touched by any of these Diddy allegations. What's going on with Rick Ross and those Diddy allegations? I'm sure there's some fucking disgusting stories with him. A lot of people getting off scot-free for that because a lot of people were definitely, that's why I can't look at LeBron James the same way. As much as I defended this man on this podcast, his basketball abilities, I got to say the Diddy party was likely. Tired of all the hype. Damn it. That's fair. Tired of all the hype Notre Dame always gets. We'll admit they're good this year, but they always get favoritism for the rankings. Yeah. Hey, fair enough. I see that. Definitely a huge brand. So they're always going to be included in the conversation when they're competitive. I could see that, especially now the size of the playoffs. God, there were so many shitty games in this college playoffs. That's the thing. So many blowouts the first 2 weeks of it. This is at least a competitive game. And I mean, if you're a betting man like myself, it was like the other games were such a fucking waste because the odds were so shitty. Yes, there have been. Yeah. But even then, I mean, like, for example, one of the teams, and I was with everybody at first, to be honest, with like Alabama getting left out, and it's always like there's just a feeling that, like, kind of for the same reason you're talking about with Notre Dame, where it's like, well, Alabama has to be in the playoffs. You can't have a playoffs without fucking Alabama at this point. But then they go and they lose to Michigan, who, they're a scrappy team, and they got, a solid defense, but their offense was super, trash. It shouldn't have really be any, although they did beat Ohio State again, which Ohio State might win the championship, which is just hilarious. Watch out for Michigan, the University of Michigan's social media going crazy. If Ohio State wins the championship this year, they're going to pull UCF as far as like when they call themselves national champions of like 2022 or some shit like that, because they got left out of the playoffs for not having a big enough name and brand, and at that time it was a smaller playoffs. And also, like what Bird's saying right here with Notre Dame just not getting that preferential treatment because of brand. Really, let's just keep it real. What the fuck happened? Did they score? Riley Leonard must have threw. I must have missed an interception he threw because they keep on showing him on the camera. Fucking idiot, bro. That's what I'm saying. They should have just kept the backup in, man. I'm glad they got left out. 3-loss team that wasn't in the SEC championship. Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I fucking hate Alabama. But initially, when people were making that argument, I could understand it, just as far as like from a talent perspective. Damn, they got a touchdown. Okay, so Notre Dame. This guy almost fumbled the fucking rock off the kickoff. Golly. But no. So Bird, you need this game to hold. Well, if you want Penn State to win anyways, obviously. And then I just need them to get a touchdown, tie this game up. That interception coming off the board was fucking horrible. I don't know anything about sports, but just popping in to say hi. Hey, Pink Moon, nice to see you. It was nice seeing you on Gut Stream last night. I just recently started getting on to his and have been getting back into my own streaming, actually, and just paying more attention to, YouTube and stuff like that. So great to see you. You guys were fun to watch and fun to interact with. All super nice people. I think the tag, by the way, anybody that's watching this in the future, otherwise, that was Gut Mob. Go check them out. Very cool dude. Fun stuff. And last night, you guys were getting into some deep stuff, man. I was sitting there listening, hanging out with my daughter last night, and I was like, they're getting personal in here. All right. Glad to have met you. I'm glad to have met you. You're a hoot. You're a good dude too. Absolutely. No. To more times. I'm gonna have to try to hop on the stream over there at some point. It's just, for me, honestly, it's just so random when it's a good time, even for my own stream here. It's so random for me that I'm not going to like walk in here and my daughter's not like, hey, come play. That was basically what was happening tonight. So I was watching the football game, so I wanted to hop in here and chop it up with anybody that had the time. That's the whole thing with the mob. We're into real conversations. Definitely. No, the night before they were talking about, or it wasn't the night before, I think it was a couple nights before, but Ukraine and stuff like that. That was the real deal. Yeah, I was there for it. Tonight we're talking about a little bit with the fires in LA. I don't know if you seen that, or if you got a nest egg tucked away for some sweet incinerated real estate, on the west coast of the beautiful United States of America. And also, shoot, does Canada just want to go ahead and join the United States? I guess that's a question. It seems like it's getting thrown around. I was just curious how people felt about that. Do we immediately recoil to, like, when we hear that even come up? I've had a few conversations off air where obviously the reputation of colonialism and things like that, people are immediately like, no, you can't just take over another fucking country. Which I'm not for, by the way, just to be clear. I don't want people just taking over shit. I've seen the fires. That's crazy. It looks like the majority of LA is gone. Yeah, I honestly don't know what to even expect. The things that I've seen have looked like that as well. I live in Florida, so the other side of the country. So I don't have any like firsthand accounts or any friends or anything like that I've heard anything from. But yeah, I hope everybody over there is good. I saw something with Biden announcing that they would support whatever kind of humanitarian causes we're planning on, pulling up to help people just regain their living situations, probably feed people, honestly, when we've dealt with natural disasters here. I don't mean to look off, by the way. I'm just looking at this game and the fucking money that I have going down the drain. Oh my God, it's sick. But like the real shit. But yeah, no. So I mean, with the fires, it's like, I mean, with the hurricanes that we have here, I've been here for pretty much all of them, and almost, I don't think we've ever evacuated. The afterwards, the like humanitarian effort is huge, just as far as like there's no way to get groceries into the area, so you have like just military handing out fucking MREs and fucking the cases of water. I was getting cases of water with roaches in them, but I mean, you gotta be thankful for what you get. And yeah, I mean, and food trucks and stuff like that, just people coming down and helping in that way, it was really cool. And we still even see the food trucks with the humanitarian like stamp that are in the area, of course. And that's big in those times, man. We smelly as hell and hungry. Just wanted to satisfy those needs. Our sim was badly in the red for a good like 2 weeks. So with the fire situation, though, there's people in the area that lost their homes. That was big, but so I mean, I can kind of sympathize in that way. But thankfully for us, there wasn't that kind of situation. Golly, this fucking guy, please. It's a tough thing. It's a tough thing, though, man. I hope that as far as like money goes, there's not that kind of hesitation. Oh my God, come on, touchdown. Speaking of money, this needs to be my fucking, give me my goddamn little bit of relief to my pocket, please. Notre Dame, get the touchdown. Let's go. Fuck yeah. Okay, we're weaving together. We're weaving together vibes right now, in a weird way, but like I said, it is what it is. It came up. We're talking about the fires. I'm also talking about the fire in my pocket where I'm losing money and fresh off of Christmas. Thankfully we got that taken care of. But God damn, thank you for that. Oh, Pink Moon, yeah. Let's see. I admittedly have not looked into it. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's the dryness. Yeah, it's the same kind of issue that they've always had. And that's some of the outcry about it. Obviously, is like, hey, why haven't we taken care of this issue previously? It's something that we know is an issue, and like burning back the forest, as far as like doing controlled burns and things like that. There's been some criticism going to Gavin Newsom, governor of California, by the way, that's for that, and people feeling like he's not addressing that enough. And I am going to pull some stuff up here on the stream, which I mean, I guess I can do while I'm watching. I'm not as good at multitasking as some streamers, I gotta say that. But I am curious. Let's go ahead and pull up some stuff here. LA fires. And I know that like Trump, for example, he put out a tweet asking for the resignation of Gavin Newsom, putting some pressure there, calling him Gavin Newscum. Yeah, I think the emphasis is on the scum part of that, not the cum part of that. But it's kind of hard to discern. So we're gonna pull that up. I'm sure we'll have the tweet because I saw some people online now going with that nickname. You know how Trump is. That's one gift that he has, man. He is a nickname man. If he gives you a nickname, it fucking sticks. The memo, Trump Newsom feud ramps up as that's really not, but that's not what we're really interested in, to be honest. I'm looking at these news stories real quick. We want to see why the fires happen. We don't really give a fuck about, you know, them bickering back and forth. Oh, but I did. So there's something I wanted to look into. Thankfully, I'm glad you're getting my memory going, because I'm going from a complete relaxed state onto this pod, and you are jogging my memory as far as what I wanted to talk about. There was an arsonist that was actually caught in LA today, which doesn't really surprise me. And obviously, not to get that mistaken, these are wildfires, I'm sure, and not started necessarily by this arsonist. So I want to be clear about that. But I'm not surprised that, people that are attracted to fire, want to set fires, might take a situation like this and take advantage of it. They're like, oh yeah, I have that neighbor whose house I really want to fucking burn down. This is a great time to make sure that happens. Let's go what we know about the LA fire. There's a lot of bullshit articles I'm looking at, but I'm ready to dive into a bullshit article. Take my mind off of this money I may be making or maybe losing. It is what it is. It's in God's hands. What we know about the LA fire and the Palisades. Yeah, little is still known about the fire started. How the fire started. The Los Angeles Fire Department arson investigation team is currently investigating the cause. Margaret Stewart, Los Angeles Fire Department public information officer, told News Nation on Thursday. And honestly, I don't know if News Nation is going to have the most up-to-date information, so we'll pop around. Online chatter, including from Elon Musk, circulated speculation that arson could be the cause of the Sunset Fire that sparked in the Hollywood Hills of Los Angeles, but Stewart said that is still unknown. That'd be just fucking sick if somebody set it off. Here I am sitting here saying, obviously it's fucking natural. So we're gonna keep on reading, and I still, persist that most likely it probably was a natural event that you had people who are arsonists or pyromaniacs, who came out and just took advantage of it, wanted to, look at the flames and be fucking freaks. The cause of the fire will be investigated. Whether that's arson or not, that is to be determined, she said. Our arson investigators are the ones that investigate the cause of the fire. That doesn't mean that it's an arson fire. It's a cause. But they did. So maybe they're going to get into that. But I did hear that they like apprehended people. So, and like civilians had apprehended somebody. So, although I will say it could be total bullshit. Like when they just had the terrorist attack in Louisiana, I did a stream on that. I was reading a bunch of bullshit about how or maybe it wasn't bullshit. That's why it's like, what is even what? What can you trust anymore as far as these news sources and stuff like that go? Because I was hearing that there was 3 men in 24. God bless you. Yeah, no, I'm with you. Well, I wouldn't be surprised in Cape Town, they get wildfires. But the most recent one was found to be done by arsonists. Hey, okay. Well, look, hey, I'll definitely rely on your expertise there. I can't say it's not something I've ever dealt with. So I would have thought that to start a fire of that level, it would be difficult as somebody who's setting a non-natural fire and an arsonist, specifically in like a populated area. But maybe not. The thing is, people don't pay the fuck attention. So maybe it could sit over there and start a giant fucking fire. I wonder how they find out that, to be honest, like cameras are burnt, etc. So how do they know it's done by arsonists? Yeah, I would say definitely some of that. So being able to see if like electronics were messed with or tampered with. 2424 Jay, shout out to you. Yes, sir. I'm locked in on the football game as well. Don't get it twisted. We are talking about fires in LA, but that 2024 is hurting me right now because I need Notre Dame to pull it out. So we're doing our Hail Marys, and we're believing. We're believers. Big time. Let's go. Um, Penn State right now, though, from what I'm seeing, I kind of got the game over here to the side, so it's kind of hard for me to really pay attention to it. 3rd and 3. Let's go, baby. Get the stop. I'll pop in and out early in the morning here, so I'm just getting my routine going. Chat soon. Absolutely. No, it's great to have you in here, and I like your contributions. Awesome. Um, as far as like the wildfires and stuff like that in Cape Town, your own personal experience, that is interesting. And as far as arson being a reason for that, I just wouldn't even have, like, for the reason I said, I wouldn't have suspected that level of fire. I could see how it could be started, obviously, like somewhere where it was more secluded, but yeah, I mean, out in the Palisades, and I mean, I haven't been out to California, so it's like I can't even really say exactly what the Palisades, what that situation is looking like in the area where they set the fire. So maybe there's a little bit more privacy there than what I thought. Let's see if I could put this double camera back to the. No, all right, well, whatever. All right, well, we could just do. You got 2 cameras of me. That's what you came here for, baby. Let's go. So, no. All right, let me pop over here. Yeah, Riley Leonard, get your ass out there, man. Get your ass out there and get the ball in the end zone, baby. And honestly, stop throwing the goddamn ball. Actually, don't get the ball in the end zone. Let's just kick the field goal and let's just take it into the sunset. By the way, 2 minutes and 34 seconds in the 4th quarter for me. I'm trying to kind of pay attention to both, but I'm just doing a little research on these wildfires, trying to figure out how I keep my house from catching flames. Do you see Paris Hilton's response? I did not see Paris Hilton's response. That's something definitely to look into. I can only imagine. It can't in this time. It can't be Glee, obviously. So, um, maybe she's pointing fingers. That's why I've seen a lot of people are coming down on Gavin Newsom. That's the main thing I've seen. Is people like, this asshole didn't do enough. And that's totally reasonable, honestly. I mean, who else are you going to point the finger at? I'm with that. 2 minutes and 10 seconds in this football game. Come on, goddamn. Riley Leonard, I can't believe I believed in you. Let's go. Bring it home. Oh my God, why are they walking off? They're literally going to take it to the. All right. They're taking it to the 2-minute warning. I want to see. Let me see. I'm going to try to pull this up in a separate. So LA fires. Let's see what Paris said. This lady who, like, dialed down on her fame somehow, but then just went completely up in her fucking bank account at the same time. She played everybody like she was stupid and then brought it home. So I do see some videos that she posted where her, maybe Instagram maybe is what you're talking about. She says, heartbroken beyond words, sitting with my family, watching the news, and seeing our home in Malibu burn to the ground on live TV is something no one should ever have to experience. Their home in Malibu being burned down to the ground, or somebody's home being burned down to the ground, because this home was where we built so many precious memories. It's where Phoenix took his first steps and where we dreamed of building a lifetime of memories with London. You gotta get another house. While the while the loss is overwhelming, I'm holding on to gratitude that my family and pets are going out to every family affected by these fires. To all the people who have lost their homes, their memories, and their beloved pets. Whew, that one. My heart aches to those still in harm's way and mourning. Yeah, I mean, she went in. Is that, I don't know if that. I mean, yeah, she encapsulated it. She's homeless right now. But she's gonna be all right. Of all the people that are out there, I mean, she's one that's gonna be okay, I think. So they have hotels and shit she can go to, for Christ's sake. So the Los Angeles wildfires are being fueled by what the National Weather Service said could be the strongest Santa Ana windstorm in over a decade, coupled with a prolonged drought in the area. It's been bone dry from about Santa Barbara southward, only a few sprinkles since last season. Ooh. So we're going on 9 to 10 months now without meaningful rain. So that is Daniel Swain, a climate scientist at UCLA. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's curious to me as far as like how much can you do. I know as far as like the controlled burnings is something that they do to burn shit back, but it's like as far as like making a arid area moist enough to, it's like, why are these, and honestly though, why are these not problems that we're more dedicated to resolving, opposed to gravitation, propulsion, fucking drones and shit? How long could the fires last? While some of the 5 separate fires have been contained, it is still unknown for how long the larger ones could last. The Sunset Fire is under control, Stewart said, adding that there are no more evacuations in the area affected. $50 billion in damage. I mean, that's not even that surprising, but it's just like, fuck. The Woodley Fire, which has burned 30 acres and controlled in the Lydia Fire, was 40% contained by Thursday morning. But it could be days and even weeks before the monstrous Palisades fire is taken down. As of Wednesday afternoon, the rapidly moving wildfire in the Pacific Palisades area has spread to more than 17,234 acres. I mean, come on. Come the fuck on. Hey, can I get an update on the game, though? Lord. Hey, guys, don't forget, we're not only reading about depressing fires, but we're also watching the Notre Dame game. My screen went out on me. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, aside from the controlled burns, I want to look up what exactly they feel could have been done to prevent the fires. But let's actually also the arsonist. LA fires, arsonist. Okay. There's a fire alert just in case anybody wanted to know that. So, you gotta not be out on the town this week. False arson incident. Oh my gosh, of course it's a fucking podcaster out there filming. New York Post. Okay, well, we're gonna roll with it. January 9th. All right. There's a video that's gonna come up there, I think. Celebrity podcaster, neuroscientist.
We're at 302 Pico, and people are lighting fires now. You can see they lit a fire. These guys, not all the people there, but some of those guys lit that fire, and they're actually the trees caught fire, and then the palms are catching fire. So civilians are now lighting fires down in the so-called flats around Santa Monica, Venice. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, I mean,
be safe out there.
Like what I was saying earlier, I wouldn't be surprised that if it was, whether it was the origin, I keep forgetting my fucking camera's over here. Whether the origin was a fire that somebody started or not, which seems like it's possible after talking to Pink Moon and then also just reading some of the, surface level stuff, the preliminary stuff that I've been reading here. Got to peek at this game. Come the fuck on, boys. But yeah, I mean, I think either way, I wouldn't be surprised whether the origins were natural, not natural. I wouldn't be surprised if they, did have people that just wanted to come out and cause chaos. It's even not people who are pyromaniacs or want to set fires, like people that just want to cause chaos. I'm surprised that you don't have more which maybe you do, and I'll read a little bit more of this, but I'm surprised you don't have things like looting happening a ton during these kind of things. When we have hurricanes, for example, that's definitely something you got to look at everybody you know and say, hey, are we gonna go out there and do this time or no? And then obviously you'd always choose not to loot stores in your local community, and you don't do that. But um of course you guys all look around and you consider, like, it would be nice to have a new fucking flat screen, and if it's going to get destroyed by water damage potentially anyways, you might as well have it. But um that's besides the point. And I I think that, ooh, golly, run your ass off, Riley Leonard, motherfucker. Oh my god, and he threw it and just fucking got a completion. Stop the clock, you dumb bastard. 3rd and 5. All right, lock in. Hey, look, that's tough. Celebrity podcaster and neuroscientist Andrew Huberman has filmed what he believes to be people fighting fires in downtown LA as wildfires continue to ravage the city of Los Angeles. As of 1 a.m. Thursday morning, local time. Why the fuck was he out at 1 a.m.? Ask yourself that, but whatever. You can be out. Just, it is a little suspect. A total of 5 fires are burning in Los Angeles. 5 people have died. That's terrible. And over 2,000 structures have been destroyed. More than 100,000 people have been ordered to evacuate their home. Golly. Early Thursday morning, Huberman, an LA local, took to X to post a video of an incident at 302 Pico Boulevard in Santa Monica, only meters from the Palisades burning. The Palisades fire is out of control in the west of Los Angeles and has burned through nearly 7,000 hectare. What the fuck? Hectacres? So, that has to do with a lot of acres, I'm sure, but we're going to look that up. I've never seen that. It is the largest of 5 fires burning in LA. People are lighting fires in otherwise non-burning areas of LA. Huberman wrote on X. Okay. We don't need more flames out here. Yeah, no, it's an understatement. At least 5 people have been killed in 2,000 buildings. We already said that. They're sweeping like lightning around Los Angeles, with firefighters overwhelmed by the speed and ferocity of the multiple blazes. Evacuation orders were in place for about 100,000 people across the area, and more than 3 million people were without power as of Wednesday afternoon. Oh my God. Like I said, there's some other bullshit going on there that I feel like we're not hearing about. The iconic Hollywood Boulevard, home to several iconic landmarks, including the Walk of Fame and Hollywood Bowl, has been pushed into a mass evacuation. Dramatic images are emerging from the heavily populated city, inundated by flames, showing a Bank of America completely engulfed. Wow, among other prominent buildings. Eesh. Look at that. Evacuation orders replace over 100,000 people. That is something else. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, after this too, this is like, look where Mark Hamill was in danger. Eugene Levy. I don't give a fuck about Eugene Levy. Not any more than I do about like all these other goddamn people in the red. But it is interesting as far as like just the timing of all these. But I guess that weather, I mean, yeah, the weather was right for it. So that's why you had all these different ones pop up, and um, you have these issues. But fuck, man. But the thing is, like I said, after this, obviously the loss of human life is the worst thing in this entire situation, so it doesn't really get worse than this. But the reality is that the suffering doesn't end now by any means for a lot of these people. Like, these people are gonna not have homes, not have jobs, not have a way to support their family just financially, and feed them fuck themselves. Like, I mean, people that don't have families, like, um That's huge, and just the amount of people with it being Los Angeles, like thinking about the impact, 100,000 people being evacuated, and you have to think about the people that are still there that are going to be affected by it. Um, and so, I mean, it's not the end of the road there for Los Angeles and their struggles, even when they get the fires under control. So, it'll be interesting to see how the government responds. Like I said, I did see something where Biden was responding. So let's go ahead and pull that up actually. Biden on LA LA fires. Yeah, there's something to do with um the assistance for the fire after that he had already approved, which I hate to be this guy because these are Americans and I want them to get fucking taken care of for sure. But it does always, you have to fight the urge to be like, well, what about why didn't you do this that time or this that time? Um, Even me, who I'm not, well, I am actually anti-Biden. Fuck him. All right, so let's pull this up. But I could be, honest when he does a good thing or anybody does a good thing. I try to be um impartial as much as I can be impartial. But I do have my own biases, we got to be conscious to that. President Joe Biden on Thursday announced the federal government would cover 100% of cost for the initial disaster response to the Los Angeles wildfires. Meeting with federal officials at the White House, Biden said the funds would go towards debris removal, temporary shelters, salaries for first responders, and more for 180 days. Okay, so temporary shelter, that definitely. I mean, and all these things benefit people. I'm not saying any of these things are bad things to put money towards or whatever, but like we're gonna keep on reading, but there's definitely a huge part of the suffering that doesn't cover. That mostly just covers getting the city back in order for people to be able to get back to their lives and get back to fucking working. Um, which is always the point. It feels like as far as that goes. Notre Dame got the ball back. Beautiful. Let's go, baby. Oh yeah, it's meant to be. I'm meant to win this fucking money. Put it in my hand. $15, little man. Put that shit in my hand. For you owe me. Owe me. Oh. Let's see here. So, meeting with federal officials at the White House, Biden said the funds would go to. Oh, that's I already read that. Biden said he emphasized in California to California officials they should spare no expense to do what they need to do. He also had a message for residents impacted by the ravaging fires. We are with you. We are not going anywhere. To the firefighters and first responders, you are heroes. And shout out to them for sure. You know, the cost of debris cleanup is gigantic. Gigantic. The cost of replacing the housing is almost exponential, he continued. Anybody can give you a number now. They have no idea what they're talking about. It's big, big, big. Don't come asking for me for no more money after this. That's basically what he's saying. Because I mean, he will be gone, I guess, too. So he added, I'm going to make an appeal right now to the United States Congress. They're going to have to step up. When we ask for more help to get people the kind of they need, to get the kind of help they need, because it really does matter. He had a little bit of a brain fart there, but I'm with him. I've been there. As Biden spoke, 5 fires were spreading around. Yeah, get your ass out there, old man, with some fucking water. Roughly 28,000 acres had been scorched, and hundreds of thousands of people evacuated. At least 5 people died in the fires, and many more injured. Vice President Kamala Harris, is that her sitting next to him, just like grinning? Get your ass out there with a bucket too. That's where you're from. I thought that was your state. They get fucking have a little bit of goddamn pride. Who is from California? Whose neighborhoods was forced to evacuate earlier this week? Okay, right there. What we have seen in California, and in particular in Southern California, is apocalyptic in terms of the nature of it. Harris said, "Damn, she's pulling out the Bible. She's like, this is the end times, y'all." Y'all didn't vote for me, and you see what? For God's angry. You didn't vote for a woman, and now you see God is mad at you. So now you guys got to deal with it. At the end of the day, if you would have just voted for me, maybe the fires wouldn't have happened because California would have been loved and God would have been happy. Major disaster declaration was approved by Biden on Wednesday. I can't even see the end of this game. So, hey Jay, if you're here with the fucking score, bro, just tell me that. Just hit me with the cha-ching, and we're in the green, like Notre Dame, baby. Fucking, I should have known when fucking Drake was making that stupid ass Fighting Irish song. Not to vote on, not to fucking bet on these bastards. 14 seconds left. I'm sorry. Like, you know what I mean? These fires are important to me. You dumbasses. You got a timeout. Can you just make the fucking play right? A major disaster declaration was approved by Biden on Wednesday, allowing victims of the fire to immediately access funds and resources to jumpstart their recovery, according to the White House. Hey, I love that. I love that. And I mean, it sounds like they are getting some relief directly to the people. I know, like with the debris pickup and stuff, once again, with like the hurricanes, and I hope this doesn't happen to them. They turned around and they got help and all this kind of shit, but then they turned around and fucking taxed homeowners for that, by the way. And specifically for the debris pickup. I had to pay like fucking $300 to the HOA for that. Come on now. So I mean, I hope they don't turn around and double dip in this situation with whatever relief they may be getting. If you're getting relief on, hiring these companies, don't turn around and try to double dip and fucking take out the people that live in your association's pockets or whatever may be happening. Biden also directed the Pentagon to provide any firefighting resources the area needs. Yeah, let us use those fucking drones, those gravitational, whatever the fuck, propelled drones to get some shit done over here and drop some fucking big ass buckets of water. They said they were as big as SUVs. The hell? We need to fill those SUV drones up with water, drive them over Los Angeles, and let's get them dropping, baby. We expect there may be a temporary break in the winds. That's another crazy thing, which, by the way, if you're tuning in and you didn't see it earlier, they're also having some crazy windstorms. So it's the combination of the two things feeding into one another. Whether it be from whether it be a natural fire or a arson, where this fucking crazy windstorms just feeding it and making it go crazy. And we expect there may be some temporary that's what he said already. And so we're going to continue to spend stop, so fucking brain fart, sending everything, literally every resource we can find that's appropriate to help the governor and his first responders. I mean, this is all nice to see. We gotta hear him follow through on this. Biden canceled his visit to Italy. Oh God, he must have fucking hated that. Where he was planning to meet with Pope Francis and Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni. In his final foreign trip of his presidency. That's fucking hilarious. His last trip. He's like, honey, you wanna honey, she's like, Italy, and he's like, she's like, I'll email him back for you. So good for them. I'm glad they're getting a nice little trip out of it, but then they didn't get it, so fuck them. The president was in California on Wednesday and received a briefing from officials alongside Governor Gavin Newsom. A target of attacks from President-elect Donald Trump over his handling of the fires. Trump also claimed on Thursday morning that FEMA has no money under the Biden administration, which is false. Damn, ABC. I mean, fact check. Congress passed a bill in December that provided an additional 100 million for disaster aid, or 100 billion for disaster aid, including 29 billion for FEMA disasters relief fund. The infusion was less than the 40 billion Biden had requested for the agency. That's awesome. So, I mean, that's good. I mean, that's a good example of like a righteous and worthwhile place to put your money, like regardless of if we need it, like, and also like a relief fund, whether it be like relief from a natural disaster, maybe like some kind of pandemic, something of that nature. Um, that's just great to have that kind of capital set aside for that. So I mean, way more worthwhile than putting a bunch of money into wars or whatever else you might want to think about there. The infusion was less than 40 minutes. Okay. FEMA administrator Deanne Criswell was in Los Angeles on Thursday to meet with local officials and survey the damage. FEMA, she's like, not that bad. Honestly, in my opinion, I think we're gonna go ahead and keep all this other good shit. And FEMA was, I mean, psych though. In reality, they want that money. They're like, it's the worst fucking thing we've ever seen. Give us the money. FEMA also released a guide to assistance for those impacted by the fires to jumpstart the recovery process. The agency said individuals in designated areas may be able to receive money for essential items, including food, water, medication, and other supplies. Love it. Call this number down here if you're a Californian. Get you some fucking bread for the disaster you're going through. Y'all deserve it. Oh damn, I was even sharing it. My bad, guys. Holy shit. In case you really need that number. I'm glad I at least noticed it at that point. Because I mean that is the point. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what else we got here. This fucking game. Notre Dame took the lead, baby. But I'm radio silence on the game. Penn State got the ball. Final. Let's go. We're fucking in the fucking green. Goddamn. Riley Leonard, you motherfucker. You tried to give it away too. Did he throw 2 interceptions? Now I'm going to check now that the game's over. Get that guy right. Sit Riley Leonard right now. No, he did have 2 interceptions. Yeah, fucking liability. But at the end of the day, they made it happen with them. I love to see how Notre Dame's defensive line stepped up and actually stopped the run in the second half. That was beautiful to see. Shout out to Notre Dame. Moving on. I'm not going to say a lot of money, but I have made, some money here off of Notre Dame. Like, honestly, over the past few weeks, you guys winning, bringing it home for your boy. Oh my God, we're ready to fucking cash out. Now, Ohio State, if you could hold it down, bring us through the rest of the week and, keep me happy, that would be a beautiful thing. Fucking betting on basketball is dangerous, though. Stay away from that. I'm staying away from that myself. That is a fucking money suck. These fucking idiots underperform every single day. They play every day and they go out there and it's like, all right, well, LeBron for 20 points, of course. Fuck no. We'll give you fucking 18, 5, and 6. Don't even get me started on the fucking degenerate shit because I will stay on it. Because honestly, they deserve the criticism. They deserve the criticism, man. Truth be told. All right. So LA Flyers we talked about. What else? I want to talk about the whole let's check out what Trump said about before we get away from the fires. Look, hey, I'm feeling great now. Hey, stress has been lifted off my shoulders. I was stressing the Notre Dame thing a little bit. I'm glad they put Penn State away. I did call that shit, by the way. Whatever. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. Last week, I called it. And I called the Georgia loss. Fucking bums. Losers. I saw Georgia losing a mile away. And also Carson Beck transferring. Bye. Bum. Gosh, Carson Beck sucks. I wish he would have stayed because I don't like Georgia. But if you're a Georgia fan, of course, get that guy the fuck out of here. He's such a clown. I gotta look this up, but there's some legendary internet content from Carson Beck that's worth looking at. That's just fucking clown shoes. What was I looking up over here? We were looking up Trump. Gavin Newsom. What the fuck what kind of fuckery are you saying, buddy? Trump keeps saying send water from the north to LA fires, but officials say that's not the problem. See, it's just like, although look, I get it. I get like, hey, the fucking fires, bring some water, throw some water on them. But it's like, that's why it's funny. It's so fucking stupid. But like, makes stupid sense. And like to think that you're just like that's what they needed. Nobody thought about bringing the fucking water down. As several fires spread across Southern California, President-elect Donald Trump urged California Governor Gavin Newsom to send water down south from Northern California, despite some local officials and experts saying that the overall water supply is not the problem. Rather, it's that power was shut off to pumps in the immediate area of the fires. That's fucking makes sense. Uh, Governor Gavin Newsom, I mean, like I said, the fucking nickname, man, should immediately go to Northern California and open up the water main and let the water flow into his dry, starving, burning state instead of having it go into the Pacific Ocean. The president-elect wrote in a post on True Social. It ought to be done right now. No more excuses from this incompetent governor. It's already far too late. That's tough. So it's like you should speak out in a time like this. So I'm not saying it's not the time to speak out, but there is something kind of gross about the feeling of like scoring political points on it. You know what I mean? Like having some political adversary that you're like jumping in immediately to just, you know, paint, villainize. Um, rather than really, partner to try to figure out what exactly needs to be done, what would be helpful to be using your influence to ask for. The remarks follow Trump blaming policies from Newsom and President Biden for causing the outbreak on Wednesday. He is the blame for this. Trump wrote about Newsom on True Social, misspelling his name on purpose. Governor Gavin Newsom refused to sign the water restoration declaration put before him that would have allowed millions of gallons of water from excess rain and snow melt from the north to flow daily into many parts of California, including the areas that are currently burning in a virtually apocalyptic way. It's basically the apocalypse right now. And that could be true. But the governor's office called Trump's evidence pure fiction. I mean, that looks like Franklin's aunt's house, man. But hey, both their names on the deed. You know what I mean? Franklin tried to explain that. Biden on Thursday convened senior White House and administration officials for a briefing on the federal response to the wildfires. And officials noted that the problem was the electrical outages preventing water from flowing rather than the lack of water in the region. Yeah, that's interesting. And like I said, it does make a lot of sense that would happen, but that's exactly why it's kind of it's kind of unacceptable and inexcusable that would be the problem. It doesn't seem like if you go through a situation like this that it would be hard to anticipate that you might have some electrical issues when your fucking city's burning to the ground. Why wouldn't there be some kind of plan in place to mitigate those kind of concerns? Those just aren't like, oh my god, how could we have ever fucking predicted that we're going to lose electricity when the city's on fire? Like, there's certain things that always happen. Again, to use my own experience with the hurricanes, it's like if you lived through some hurricanes, you kind of what to expect from them, and what might end up happening when the hurricanes take place, and you have some kind of idea on how to take preventative measures, whether it be like, hey, we need to get a generator. And I mean, I know these are like smaller issues compared to like the entire city's like fucking electrical grid having some issue with it or something, but it's like you still got to try to plan for that and you know, lighten the blow that you're going to end up taking if you ever end up being faced with something like this, which is completely predictable. Completely predictable that something like this might, of course, happen. I want to be clear what I know from talking to the governor, that there are concerns out there that there's also been a water shortage. The fact is, the utilities understandably shut off. Exactly, under fucking standardly it shut off because they are worried the lines that they carried energy, they're going to be blown down and spark additional fires. But the Cal Fire, when it did that, it cut off the ability to generate pumping the water. This, that's what caused the lack of water in these hydrants. Reading Biden is like my brain's fucking melting when I'm trying to read something he said. And so Cal Fire is bringing in generators to get those pumps up and working again. So it's basically is the same issue. That's the fucking crazy thing. So I'm being charitable and saying like, well, this is how we would solve it for our issue, and assuming that their issue would obviously be more complicated. And then it's like, oh no, it's actually basically the same thing, like to a bigger degree, um, that there's no shortage of water coming out of these hydrants. He said, I'm also surging all federal resources possible to Southern California. Trump's administration in his first term signed a memorandum that redirected millions of gallons of water to farmers living in the Central Valley in Southern California, pumping it out of Sacramento and San Joaquin River Delta, which Newsom quickly condemned at the time. However, new federal and state regulations limit the amount of water pumped from the Sacramento San Joaquin River Delta in order to protect the endangered smeltfish, which Trump claimed would have prevented the wildfires. I mean, hey, look, I'm gonna be honest with you. This motherfucker saying like we need that water to protect the endangered fish. I don't know if that's a good enough reason. We're willing to listen to arguments to not do something, of course, but it's like, if that's really the reasoning, because we're trying to protect the smellfish, but we're like, hey, we're trying to prevent actual fucking fires from burning down entire cities, like, the smellfish got to go somewhere else or learn how to live there with a little bit less water. I'm just being honest. In a statement posted on X by his press office, Newsom rebuked Trump's claim that he had faulted on a signing of the water restoration declaration that would have freed up gallons of water for the state. There's no such document as the Water Restoration Declaration. That is pure fiction, the Post said. The governor is focused on protecting people, that not playing politics, and making sure firefighters have all the resources they need. Yeah, I mean that is a fair little clapback at Trump there, as far as like like I said, the whole political points thing I think is fucking gross, but at the same time, if he's lying about this whole water restoration declaration thing, which does sound fucking fake as fuck now that he says that, but water restoration declaration, he was just fucking spitting bars. Declaration, something like that. Trump lashes out with false claims about FEMA and California water policy. So here, I'm gonna go ahead and just make this just my big head real quick, because I'm reading something else now. So not to distract us. FEMA funding, facts first. So, oh no, this is what we want to see. All right, Newsom and a water restoration declaration. Trump blamed Democratic California Governor Gavin Newsom for the wildfire crisis, claiming in a social media post that Newsom refused to sign the water restoration declaration put before him that would have allowed millions of gallons of water from excess rain and snow melt for the north. Okay, that we saw that apocalypse away. All right, facts first. This is false. Newsom has never refused to sign a water restoration declaration. In fact, there is no such document, as Newsom's office said on. Can we get a source other than just directly from them? Is my only thing. There was no. This is from them. There was no water restoration declaration for him to sign. Jeffrey Mount, a senior fellow in the Water Policy Center at the Public Policy Institute of California think tank, said in Wednesday's interview. Okay, well, I mean, I guess that's what I just asked for. So fair enough. Trump's a liar. This fucking just in. Anybody that thinks that Trump isn't a fucking liar, he's a total scumbag and a liar, obviously. There was never oh, this is another person saying it. There was never a water restoration declaration in California that the governor refused to sign. Brent Haddad, an environmental studies professor at the University of California, Santa Cruz, said in an email in 2020 Newsom did mount a legal challenge to a Trump plan to deliver more water from Northern California to farmers, which is what we just read about, in the state's Central Valley agricultural hub, saying he was seeking to protect highly species close to extinction. And I mean, that is a fucking, I mean, it's a valid reason not to do something, but not if the reason is to prevent wildfires from burning down cities, or, honestly, not even really that much. It's not that great of an excuse not to redirect the water, just to feed people better, to be completely honest. Um, I'm sorry, I don't know how much this fucking smelt fish is going to affect the ecosystem in California. And I don't like things going extinct, but you know what I mean? Like, come on. In the Sacramento, San Joaquin, Trump's presidential transition team said Thursday that this is what Trump was referring to. But contrary to Trump's assertion, this federal initiative was not a declaration from Newsom to sign or not. And critically, as we'll explain in the fact check item below, experts say there is no connection between the long running policy battle and the current fires. Yeah, so I mean, it seems like we could put that one to bed at least. It sounds like Trump is a fucking dirty liar who's just taking political shots, which some of the shots might actually be relatively reasonable. I think, Newsom's not perfect, and there's plenty of things you can criticize about how he's run California and just his general fucking being. But overall, like you're saying, specific shit, if you're going to say something specific like that and dress it up as something that we should believe and that you're a source that we should believe, then there's a huge issue. There's a huge issue because people hear this water declaration fucking, and even including myself, I mean, I hear it and I'm like, okay, well, there must be some truth to that. And then there's literally no truth to it. Like, he's totally bullshit, and he's talking about something completely separate that can't even be, in the most gracious of interpretations, can't be uh connected here. So, hey, like I said, if you fucking full on or believe in Donald Trump at face value, that's just another example as to why not to do that. Always double down and, like, do a little bit of research afterwards, even if you fuck with the guy. But if there's one thing, we will give him credit for being the ultimate fucking nickname maker. New scum. Gavin Newsom, bro. You're so interesting thing as a side note here, not that important for the overall deal. Obviously the fires themselves are way more important than this, but this will obviously, I think, have a pretty big impact on Gavin Newsom's potential run for president. I mean, this is something that I think has penetrated, and that's part. I think that's probably part of the reason why Trump is so eager to jump on and really paint him in a negative light coming off of this, because he very well may be one of his biggest contenders coming up in the next presidential cycle, or whoever Trump ends up passing the torch off to, if he passes the torch off at all. I'm already seeing articles being written about how some Republican officials would support a potential third um, term for Trump. And I think that's something, actually, that's a conversation I'm going to have on a podcast when I have somebody else on here to probably debate it, because I might actually not have a problem with that. And I think people's first instinct there with the third um term or unlimited terms for president or whatever, I think people immediately there's a negative connotation there, and people are like, fuck no. But in reality, I think that probably was put in position to prevent somebody who really got the people behind them, and whether they had the people's best interest in mind, who the fuck knows. But it's like, I think that plan or that policy got put into place to prevent that. Somebody who really became undeniable from the general public, which, in reality doesn't benefit the rich. It doesn't benefit the few. I don't like to say the elite, you know what I mean? Because there's kind of like, I think there's sort of like you're creating a lesser than class already, which is kind of like what you're trying to describe, but I just don't like the terminology there with the elite. That's kind of like a loaded word, um but yeah, I think that's a real issue in our society though, where we're at now, as far as like, you know, we have a shortage of inspirational leaders who mean well. It's like if you actually find one, and I'm not the guy that's saying Trump is this. It's just, I try to be fair, I think, as fair as I can be. And, if it was somebody that was the right guy, in my opinion, like, I don't know, at this point in my life, I think I'm kind of rethinking that. Should there be like such a short limit, like under 10 years even? So I mean, even if it's not unlimited, it's like, should it be less than fucking 10 years? And it's like you get a guy in there, their first term, they're figuring it out kind of trial by fire in a lot of cases, because these people, whether they have the experience from being a vice president, which is common, or not, which is also like relatively common. I mean, it's not uncommon for people to become president without the vice president experience nowadays. Two of the or three of the um, last four were not vice presidents before they were presidents. So um, whether there's like a benefit in the actual uh, politicking aspect of it or not, I'm not really actually sure as far as that goes. I don't know if it benefits you. But I'm sure it benefits you as far as like stepping in, knowing what what you're stepping into as a vice president. Somebody who's been a vice president, that's got to be a benefit. Um, at least as far as like from your own, how you're handling it yourself. Sheesh. Dude, I gotta get a new grinder. This fucking thing is like gonna give me fucking arthritis like crazy. Or is it me? Did I get fucking weak on the grinder, bro? I'm a little concerned by that. I can barely turn that fucking thing. But yeah, I mean, we got to see a response there. When Trump gets in office, he's gonna immediately have crisis, ongoing, which there's always, something going a little bit, but he's really stepping into a um the kettle is hot, the heat is rising, and that's tough because during his last administration, I mean, I would say that would be one of my complaints, was that we didn't feel stable, even though things are way too expensive. And I think jobs are a serious concern for people out there. And um like housing security and housing insecurity mainly. I mean, that's a legitimate issue. Affordable housing. These are all legitimate issues, and totally actually like breaks my heart a little bit that people have to wake up every day and suffer with these issues in a country as wealthy as our country, or just in general, really in the world, but especially a country which in many aspects, enjoys so much excess. For people to just the very bare minimum to have to suffer um, and strive every day just to, meet those needs is sad. Um, but last time around, but I will say, like I said, with all those issues that I think still persist, it does generally, as far as like socially, I feel like the country feels stable. Um, Now I don't know if that is a reason to vote one way or another, because maybe some of the things at work that make it unstable maybe are pushing against that thing that you're viewing as the reason it being unstable for a reason. If that makes sense, if you follow my logic there, it's like um maybe the instability is caused by the very people that want you to kind of be lulled into a sense of security, um, by saying, hey, things are all right. And once you start to kind of try to resist that, and I struggle to see Trump as a legitimate resistance against, upper class people and shit. But let's just go with this kind of thought experiment. Um, if you were to see people starting to organize around those lines, maybe you would start to intentionally trying to make things feel more unstable to prevent people that maybe could contribute to legitimate instability of a class system or economic system that's predatory. um so maybe that predatory class brings about some of that uncomfortableness, so then like they could blame the resistance itself. Like I said, in this hypothetical thought experiment, I have a hard time believing that Trump is that resistance to that. You know what I mean? I think it's kind of like, I mean, like fucking literally doing property crimes and being like, fucking everybody does that, bro. I don't even know why I'm being held accountable for it. It's like, you guys fucking all should be held accountable for all this fucking property fuckery that you do, or these white collar crimes. I mean, if Vietnam, I can actually look this up. Hold on. Let's read this shit. In Vietnam, they put a lady to death for a financial crime. Is all I'm going to say. I'm not saying we should be more like Vietnam, and I'm definitely not saying we should be more like Vietnam. Except maybe, obviously, like we can bring a little bit more of their cuisines over here, because I do love me some dim sum. You feel me? So Vietnamese lady put to death for financial crimes. Okay. Let's see if we can figure out a little bit about this situation right here. Alrighty. So, as part of a major state anti-corruption drive, she was convicted in April for her role in a 12.5 billion financial fraud case. Vietnamese property tycoon Truong My Lane, uh, who was sentenced to death this year in the country's biggest corruption case, has gone on trial on additional fraud charges, state media reported. After you already put the lady to death, is the other cases really necessary? I mean, honestly, the lady's like mercy. Oof. Yeah. No, she looks like she'd steal the shit out of your fucking money, your life savings, all that. Heartless. How could you be so heartless? Yep. Gotta let it breathe. How could you be so heartless? Yeah. Truong. Who were you stealing from, lady? We need to figure this out. Vietnamese property tycoon Truong Mylan has lost her appeal. She's like, please, like death, a little harsh, right? Appeal against her death sentence for masterminding the world's biggest bank fraud. She's robbing the bank. I don't have much sympathy, but hey, let's just keep on moving. The 68-year-old is now in a race for her life because the law in Vietnam states that if she can pay back 75% of what she took, her sentence will be commuted to life imprisonment. Oh my God. This lady has to go get her money up while in prison. And then they probably took all the assets that she bought with the fucking money. If they didn't take all the assets, maybe, she maybe could do it. So 75%. Let's see if it's going to break down what that is. In April, the trial court found that Truong Mylan had secretly controlled Saigon Commercial Bank, the country's fifth biggest lender, and taken out loans and cash over more than 10 years through a web of shell companies amounting to a total of 44 Bs. 44 billion, baby. Or maybe that's another kind of currency. But this says 34.5 million euros over there. So either way, a shit ton of money. She's in the fucking bees. And she stole it all, I guess. Of that, prosecutors say 27 billion was misappropriated and 12 billion was judged to have been embezzled. The most serious financial crime for which she was sentenced to death. I don't know. I'm gonna go on the side of I don't think anybody should ever be sentenced to death for stealing money. But I will say that when you say that that's completely off the table, but the thing is, life is fucking crazy. Give people life. If you really want to say, because I get part of it. Part of it's like, hey, we need to punish white collar criminals in, if not a similar way to how we, judge people that do things that are considered, lower level crimes, or not financial crimes, anyways. They still need to face severe punishment, because then you just have people who tend to come from a different kind of level in society, and they're getting away with these fucking giant crimes, spending 10 years in a fucking what's that called, a fucking country club, um yeah, just fucking like honestly having a great time. And then you have other people who sell fucking weed for a living or something, and they're in some shitty prison getting fucking stabbed on the way to fucking breakfast. Let's see, where were we? It was a shocking verdict. She is one of the few women in Vietnam to be sentenced to death for a white collar crime. I'm not even thinking of her being a woman as a thing. I'm thinking it's just the crime itself. It's a financial crime. Nobody, I mean, did somebody die? But my first reaction is like, nobody died. Why on earth would death fit the punishment for that? She needs to pay back in whatever, like I said, seizing assets and in every way that you can get back what she may have stolen. Apparently, I don't even think you got to say alleged. This bitch was fucking convicted and put to death. But geez, I mean, like the thing is, if you're not already a billionaire, I'm just thinking from my perspective, it's like after the first 3, 5, 10 billion, you weren't like, you know what, I'm fucking good. This is a lot of money. I probably won't be able to spend this. And then if I do spend it, then I'll steal, the money. But it's like, holy shit, like, what are you even buying? I really don't know. What are you buying in Vietnam? No disrespect. Of course, they were probably out of there. They were in fucking Singapore living it up, I bet. In April, the trial court found that Trulong Mylan had secretly controlled. Okay, we already said that. Of the prosecutors, the 27 billion. It was a rare, shocking verdict. We read that. On Tuesday, the court said there was no basis to reduce Trulong Mylan's death sentence. However, there's no basis. That's interesting. However, she could still avoid execution if she returns 9 billion. 3/4 of the 12 billion she embezzled. It's not her final appeal, and she can still petition the president for amnesty. I think let's not kill the lady, guys. During her trial, the Trulong, and I'm curious, anybody that's watching or like, let me know. Do you feel like at any point a financial crime could warrant a death penalty for it? Maybe, maybe I'm not thinking about it, three-dimensional enough. Maybe I'm being too hard-headed here. There it is. All right. During her trial, Trulong Mylan was sometimes defiant, but in the recent hearings for her appeal against the sentence, she was more contrite. So she was like, hey guys, I'm sorry for stealing those fucking 12 billion. Please don't kill me for it. She says she was embarrassed to have been such a drain on the state and that her only thought was to pay back what she had taken. Yeah, that's a good tone to take. That's a good posture to take in court. Born into the Sino-Vietnamese family in Hy Cho, Minh City. True, damn, they had to put the whole fucking family on blast. Like, really? It's a different culture. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if that's really necessary in America. I don't know if we're like, hey, this is their fucking dynasty that did this. True Long Milan started as a market stall vendor. Maybe I need to look into that. Looks like a fucking awesome inn. Selling with cosmetics with her mother. She began buying land and property after the Communist Party introduced economic reform in 1986. By the 1990s, she owned a large portfolio of hotels and restaurants. Damn, so lady boss, fucking straight up girl boss in the building. So, she had some shit on her own just for selling the makeup. Let's not get it twisted. We might be able to use this lady like fucking somebody send these people over in Vietnam. They need to watch Catch Me If They Can or Catch Me If You Can with Leonardo DiCaprio. And how they use that guy to catch criminals in the end. You don't kill these fucking people, guys. They could be fucking FBI agents or fucking Vietnamese FBI agents, whatever. She could be fucking helping you catch people frauding the bank. When she was convicted and sentenced in April, somebody probably already got that position and caught her ass, actually. She was the chairwoman of a prominent real estate firm, Van Thin Fat Group. Nice. It was a dramatic moment in the Blazing Furnaces anti-corruption campaign led by then Communist Party Secretary General Phu Trong. Very nice. The fucking sounds like the communists might be winning over there. She started buying fucking property right as the Communist Party went out of they did their reforms. And then she immediately started with the bullshit. And they said, well, we got to dial it back. This fucking lady right here. Golly, we got to kill her too. And we got to fucking kill her, obviously, for stealing the fucking money. At what point does it become death, though? I wonder. I mean, hopefully in this article, maybe they'll touch on that. Like, at what point did she cross the line where, okay, you stole a murder amount of fucking money? When she was convicted, which honestly, a lot of people, I don't know about in Vietnam, but in America, shit, you could kill people and not get the death penalty easily. I mean, in some states, it's not even allowed at all. All of the remaining 85 defendants were convicted. 4 were sentenced to life in jail. Damn, so this lady got death. These other people are fucking not getting death, is all I'm saying. Like I said, when she crossed that threshold, 4 were sentenced to death, while the rest, including Trong Mylan's husband and niece, were given prison terms ranging from 20 years to 3 years. Suspended. Not that bad. I mean, to roll in fucking billions of dollars, I don't know. Maybe you do 3 years. Maybe you do 3 years for that. The State Bank of Vietnam is believed to have spent many billions of dollars recapitalizing Saigon Commercial Bank to prevent a wider banking panic. The prosecutors argued that her crimes were huge and without precedent and did not justify leniency. No leniency is what she got. Fucking mafia shit. Mylan's lawyers said she was working as fast as she could to find the $9 billion she needed. She's trying to find that laying around. By cashing in her assets, have proven difficult. Some are luxury properties in Ho Chi Minh City, which could, in theory, be sold quite quickly. Others are in the form of shares of stakes and other businesses and properties and projects. Yeah, they probably don't even want to pay her out for that. They're like, no, you're a fucking fraudster. So we want to find a way to basically get your fucking shares back from you and not have to pay you out for them. In my experience, anyways, fucking companies in America are fucking shisty with that shit. So got called the SEC on their ass. But in all the state, in all the state has identified more than 1,000 different assets linked to the fraud. I mean, when you have fucking $12 million, you better have thousands of assets. These have been frozen by the authorities by now. See, that's where I'm confused. It's like she wanted to pay it back. Can she cash in these assets? I'm surprised she even has these assets that they're talking about. Unless somehow they've determined or they can't determine that those were, gotten under, some kind of like criminal means, and she gets to keep those because, whether she's able to prove that, she bought them legally or whether they can't prove it. I don't know. That's an interesting thing. And all the state has identified more than 1,000. Okay. These have been frozen by the authorities for now. The BBC understands the tycoon has also reached out to friends to raise loans for her to help reach the target. I mean, but loans though, that's my only issue with, like, she hits you. Imagine this. Your friend that's about to go to prison to be killed is hitting you up for loans. You got to tell them hell no. And then the thing is, even best case scenario, say they're able to raise the money so they don't get killed, which, I think I'm actually for that. Excuse me. I'm pro let's not kill this lady. But at that point, she's in prison for the rest of her life. How's she supposed to pay you back? Like, is she expecting? I literally don't know what how. That would be like, this would be the conversation if me and her were on the phone. It's like, ring, ring. Hello, I need some money. I'm fucking in prison for stealing $12 billion in fucking government assets. Yeah, okay. How are you gonna pay me that back, dumbass? They're about to kill you, stupid. I'll give it to you if you're able to get the rest of the money, but how are you supposed to pay me it back? Yeah, I don't fucking know. I'm not sure that the fucking dim sum is gonna pay quite enough to, pay off what you owe me. So I'm happy though. I'm happy that, at least I don't live in a country that's gonna fucking kill people over that. That's all I can say. But then again, like I said, in this country we protect people that commit these kind of crimes. We're like, hey, you got caught, buddy. Go ahead and don't try that again. Wink, wink. Let's see. So her lawyers have argued for leniency from the judge on the financial grounds, but they said that while she is under sentence of death, it would be hard for her to negotiate the best price for selling her assets and investments, and so harder for her to raise $9 billion. I mean, yeah, but even if she's getting life in prison, like people aren't just like happy to hand out loans to people that are going to spend the rest of their life in prison. I can speak for myself here. She could do much better if under a life sentence instead, they say. The total value of her holdings actually exceeds the required compensation amount. Lawyer Hugh Thepe told the BBC before her appeal was rejected. However, these require time and effort to sell, as many of the assets are real estate and take time to liquidate. Milan hopes the court can create the most favorable conditions for her to continue making compensation. Yeah, she's totally fucked. I get their point. And I mean, they're right, but it's like it literally helps it just a little tiny bit. If you're in prison for the rest of your life, you're just all around fucked. You're in a very bad position to be asking for loans. Now, if you're not like going, like if you don't have the death penalty, you're not about to die, then I could see the situation where maybe it's a little bit easier to turn around and sell things. Because now people might be like, oh, you're trying to sell me this fucking apartment? Okay, yeah. How about I just wait till you get killed and I buy it? Bitch. Not, I wish the best for the lady. Hopefully I'm rooting for her. Hopefully she wins. She hit me up. I might be able to contribute a little bit of something, but I definitely want to see my shit X'd on the back end. You know what I'm saying? I need to see my fucking ones turn to twos and threes. But let's see here. Nice. This one's for the Fighting Irish. This one is definitely for the Fighting Irish tonight. He blessed us. Hail Mary and our Father in heaven, God. All right. So, what else do I have here? I definitely wanted to get into these videos tonight. So. Right. All right, I hear it. I'm coming through clean. Let's go ahead and pull this video up. So this video right here, this is gonna be Sam Hyde. I'm a little bit ignorant to Sam Hyde for the most part. I've sent this video. I know kind of, extensively about Sam Hyde and some of like the kind of not conspiracy, but controversial kind of shit that he's done. So I know about him from the outside looking in, but I haven't really watched any of his content. And I just know he ruffles some feathers. So we're gonna see his letter to Elon here, what he's talking about, and if it's something I could groove with or not. I really don't know what to expect.
Glad I caught you. Glad I got you there.
So far, fucking disgusting, man. This guy needs to get his fucking fluids under control.
Elon Musk. By the way, please don't watch this if you're not Elon Musk, okay? This is a one-off video that we're doing. This is private, personal. I put this in his email. I don't know how you got this, unless you're on the Asmongold Discord server, in which case you know my every move, okay? Me and Asmongold have been planning this for a while now. Moist Critical's involved, and yeah, I guess if you're on the Moist Critical Discord server, you would have access to this file, so kudos to you, hacker. I don't think Elon's gonna watch this. And listen, I know as a comedian, first and foremost, I don't expect people to take me seriously, but it is a fact that shit posting and public opinion are now intermingled permanently, and it's not going anywhere, and that's just the way it is. I get all my news from memes, basically. That's how I get my news. Is that how you get your news? How would you even get the news if you weren't looking at memes? You'd watch a show? That's even more fucking retarded. We turn that off? It's a smart thermostat, so it's gonna take 15 minutes to figure out how that fucking thing works. It's very intuitive. I don't know why the Nest
He's got a Arthur Morgan call.
thermostat is taking you so long to learn and intuit. Okay, a toddler could figure this out. A toddler on an iPad could figure out how to use the Nest thermostat. That's Chris Lynch, by the way, Elon. Do not hire him, okay? He's leaving this job very soon. See, he's white. He's too lazy. Chris, you're so lazy and white. Well, yeah. You guys should have studied violin harder as kids. I swear to God, Vivek would have figured this out by now. I want to believe that Elon is one of the great men of our age, and that he has what it takes to become a 21st century Andrew Carnegie. I think
This motherfucker is disgusting.
it's important to have great men to look up to. Trump, Joe Rogan, oh, there it goes. Elon, Tucker. And it's not necessarily important that our great men are perfect, but there are symbols of what we could be. I think if Ron Paul took steroids, he would be my number one. That would be my number one guy. You agree? Yeah. I would like to offer you an escape, an exit from this hole you've been digging. You are a beloved figure. Anytime you do anything remotely based, people lose it. Oh my God, he's based. Yo! He just said that woke liberals aren't cool. He's based. What does he say? Yeah, anytime you post an AI kitten in a MAGA hat, people lose their, he's based! He's fucking based, man. For the guy who's the free speech guy, and not only that, but the reasoning from first principles guy, the logical fallacy guy, the Reddit guy, good faith argue with everybody, you know, whatever. All that shit. Blanket banning groypers, taking away blue checks, changing the algorithm of the site because 100 people ratioed you, because there's fucking 50,000 posts. They're all organic, by the way. This is not some Russian bot farm. It's not some nefarious behind the scenes, let's mess with Elon, we're gonna fuck with him. That's not what it is. It's you tapped into a critical, moist critical. You tapped into a moist critical, and we're back to moist critical. Mainline concern for the American people. And you treated it in a way that was glib and dismissive. You just became a Republican 3 months ago, and you're talking about removing a big portion of regular people, root and stem. No. People fucking love you. They will forgive you. Nobody is trying to get you to become turbo, base pilled, full Pat Buchanan immigration policy. People broadly understand that you are a San Francisco, tech, California, international immigrant. Well, if you want to be a regular tech guy, that's fine. You can do that. You can be Larry Ellison. You can go play on the boat. Nobody's going to give a fuck. Realize what you're fighting for. If you're going to be the tech king, if you've courted the MAGA base, you wanted these people on your side. They're ready to be on your side, but you have to fight not for Ben Shapiro's idea of the country of America, the notion of America as this collection of ideas. That's not what it is. It's Americans. That's who you have to fight for. If you're in America, doing business in America, you want to be the man in America, you have to fight for the American people. You're not fighting for a paragraph. You're not fighting for a set of ideas, man. It's the American people who need your help. That's fundamentally why I think
He's cooking now.
people are pissed off here. And it's an easy fix. Just don't call them retards.
There you go.
Elon, have you met Chris? He's on Asmongold. He's streaming all the time. You should just check him out. He's playing these games and stuff. He's amazing what the kid does with video games. I can't believe it. People didn't suddenly have a flare-up of India hate. I've been monitoring the Indian hate websites for a while. It's actually set to my homepage. I've been checking these websites out. I watch what these people do. There were very few overt Indian haters spewing their nonsensical filth everywhere 72 hours ago. What happened? Okay, 72 hours ago, most people in the MAGA base looked at Vivek Ramaswamy with some notion of admiration, or hey, that guy says cool stuff every once in a while. Hey, you know what? I think I like that guy. Now, he's got to be deported. Sucks, man. And he's not being deported because of the color of his skin. He's being deported for the content of his character. And I think that truly was a mask-off moment where we saw that Vivek Ramaswamy really is just a fucking nerd who needs to go back.
Sheesh. Yeah, honestly though, I mean, this is a bad time to take a little siesta and have this conversation, but for the most part, he's kind of cooking, in my opinion. Elon does have a ton of, like cultural currency, if you want to, whatever you want to refer to it as far as like people. There are a lot of people that value his perspective and his way of viewing things. Also right there. And I totally agree with Sam Hyde here as far as like the way that he uses it usually is for fucking stupid means, whether it be like for some kind of stupid cringe, like laughing at somebody and trying to do that like a gotcha on somebody from the left or whatever. I mean, he really did like regress into a like cultural Republican, and it's fucking cringe to see. And his website is fucking horrible too. It's like what he's kind of touching on now, like whether it be the Indian hate or just all kinds of like the racism and just fucking weird shit. Like that's the kind of stuff will go all day long unchecked. And then it's like you'll have really dumb shit, whether it be criticism of Elon or just whatever it may be, where it ends up being censored entirely and blocked, or you still have people, by the way, once again, if you're going to say free speech, then like there's a lot of these guys that have fucking cringe opinions that I wouldn't believe, that I wouldn't that I don't appreciate, or I personally wouldn't want to listen to. They deserve to be on your platform, and stop fucking pussyfooting around with it.
Everybody spurgs out. I'm spurging out right now. I'm going to spurg out later, okay? On Chris Lynch. And also, Indians do cool stuff every once in a while. They got the chest slapping wrestling. You guys watch that action movies. He's shooting a bullet out of the air with a gun. He's flipping over the tuk-tuk.
Their food is overrated, in my opinion. I don't know. I had Indian food recently for the first time this week, and I was just not blown away. The chicken tikka masala, I mean,
Indian clubs, shoulder rehab, exercise, fantastic. The hate, it's irrational hate.
They don't just hate.
It's just racism. It's just a nonsensical racism. The hate and racism and anti-Indian sentiment, it's there to the extent that Indians are being used to replace white people.
Huh? Hold on.
That's it. We have to stop playing pretend. We're not talking about...
Okay, hopefully he makes that a little bit more clear. I'm not sure how the racism is so bad that it made Indians white people. How the fuck did he get there? I thought he was going the other direction with it and saying, like, you know, there was kind of like, I guess, okay, I can see what he's, as far as like, it's okay to be racist against them, I guess. But it's like, I feel like in the way that we're talking here, there's way more, you know, analogous examples of that, because it is straight up 100%, like it's just straight up unbridled racism on there, just saying that Indians smell like shit and stuff like that. So
exceptional Indians here, and that's why this is sort of spreading like wildfire. People sharing these H-1B lists of what the jobs are. You are not in Calcutta scouting for the next Indian Einstein. You're not. We have to make it to outer space and invent new computers. Let's get to India and get the next Nikola Tesla. That's not what's happening. We're talking about people at fucking gas stations. You bring them over, you put them in a fucking gas station, and then we'll go around all the gas stations in the USA and find the next genius. Well, what if he's not in India? What if he's working at a gas station in North Carolina? He might be there. We don't know. Why don't we bring everybody here and then we can look for everybody? That's actually a fucking genius idea. We bring fucking everybody here, and then, like a needle in a haystack, we find the one man who can invent electrical computer. That sounds fucking retarded, and it's not true. You have to at least say that the H-1B program is being scammed. If you don't admit that, then as far as like any type of discussion that goes anywhere is concerned, it's over. It's over. This is a direct quote from Moist Critical himself. I'm speaking on his behalf. He was too busy streaming Marvel Rivals to talk to you. So I'm here on his behalf, giving you opinions that he approved, okay? Nobody's expecting you to go full Steve Bannon here. You're a tech bro, we get it. Immigrant. But if you are on Team America, and by Team America, I don't mean Ben Shapiro's collection of ideas. America's not a collection of ideas. America is a people. Americans. If you are Team America.
Ben Shapiro's a fucking fucktard anyways. And he was right about not leaning into that version of America when he was talking about that earlier with Elon and buddying up with you know, like right-wing pundits and stuff like that. A lot of the right-wing pundits over there do not represent conservative people and their actual values. Like they represent a very small portion of those people. But you have like the fucking Ben Shapiro's, you know, who Ben Shapiro went to like Harvard or some shit. He's over here caping for fucking, he's like he's like a Israeli diplomat right now for fucking Donald Trump. So it's like, let's just put it in perspective. He's not like a speaking for every man type thing or every conservative in any way. So don't get confused with that perspective being representative.
Then the most prominent talking points need to be the immediate deportation of illegals and the end of the abuse of the American worker by programs like this H-1B, the gamification of stuff like this that's set up to benefit people who aren't us. Nobody wants to solve the Japanese birth rate problem by turning Japan into India. That's preposterous. That only would work in a computer simulation where you can just change the code and make a Japanese person. I've tried it! It can't be done. In my laboratory, okay, where Asmongold is right now, down in the basement, I have tried over 150 times to turn an Indian into a Japanese man. And the only thing I was able to accomplish was boiling them. All right? If you think, Elon, or Asmongold, if you're watching this, if you think you can turn an Indian person into a Japanese person by boiling them, not gonna happen, okay? Go down to my basement and talk to the 150 Indians that I already tried that on. Doesn't work. Nobody wants to solve the American birth rate problem. What's gonna happen? We're gonna run out of people. Oh, the stock prices are gonna go down. Oh, that's a problem for the All In podcast to figure out. It's David Sacks. Sacks of what? Sacks of gold? Just start calling yourself David Sacks of gold. What's the other guy? Jason Sacks? Asmongold? Asmongold. David.
See, the thing is, like, I'll speak for myself as far as like people that maybe are older than 25 and work fucking normal jobs. I don't really know these people that he's fucking talking about. Asmongold, voice critical guy. I've seen him. I've seen his reaction videos, and okay, I get it. We're fucking clowning on him for playing Rivals. That's fine. But yeah, there's a lot of like All In podcast. Who the fuck are these people? So I mean, he's been a lot of. If I was gonna say one thing, like, you know, he's cooking on some really good shit, talking about the, you know, workers' rights, not paying attention to American workers, and okay, I think we're good. All right, so when we're talking about going and getting workers from other countries and things like that, not necessarily looking to go get the absolute best people in those countries, but really offsetting a lot of jobs that could go to people here in America. Oof. All right. I don't know how much more we're going to get in here because the fucking internet's going crazy or some shit like that. Fucking getting to eat.
Change the name to Asmongold. The branding is already set up for you. Asmongold wants to himself. You can replace his body and become the top streamer in America. I shouldn't say Asmongold wants to himself. I love Asmongold. That guy's classic. He's the ultimate. He's the best streamer.